In the Gospel today we have the origin essentially of the Jesus prayer. This poor blind man pleading with all his heart, Son of David, have mercy, have pity on me. He lays on, and we have the end of that added in the prayer that comes from the publican in another Gospel, on me a sinner. And the two come into the Christianized prayer we have throughout the Eastern Church, the Jesus prayer. Difference being that Son of David, with the fullness of revelation, has become Son of God. And it is used throughout the day in an Eastern monastic structure. They even have it actually on their wrist continually. And each one is a part of a chain of unbroken union with heaven. Litania, or in the Russian church, Totki, and they are something which give an attitude of soul. What is that attitude? It is the attitude of this poor beggar and also of the poor sinner in the temple. Wants truth. Humility is truth, insists Teresa of Avila. Not more, not less. The Blessed Virgin acknowledged the greatness of the Lord working in her, but did not own that greatness. That's the mistake of Lucifer. And so it is that one recognizes and he gives as truly gifts with gratitude. But then one glorifies the giver thereof and not oneself. So the attitude of the creature is that of the beggar, and the beggar needs all. He has nothing. That is our truth. And it's the truth that should pervade all our attitude to prayer and worship. Is it the case? I remember growing up being profoundly influenced by the Eastern Church. It was the Greek priest in Cardiff who taught me to read Greek. And the liturgy in his church was something else. And when I was 18, I had the experience of a complete liturgy in Meteora. It was a Sunday in 1972, and we were there touring. And I remember going up Meteora and thinking, because it was the very day of the Transfiguration, the 6th of August, how he took them into a high place, apart. And there was time. Liturgy in the East is not hurried. You do not look at their watch. There's no other celebration following. There's no other church to minister to. One is there and one enters into mode. And I noticed that even before they started, because it starts with the preparatory prayers in the left side behind the holy doors, because all the bread has to be prepared in a sacred way. Clouds of incense and 3 hours of otherness. And now and again I would find it over the years. In Rome, going to the Rusicon, for instance, on a Sunday morning, or to St. Cosmas and Damian, or rather Santa Maria in Cosmedin, that had a Greek liturgy, and also to that of a friend who was doing his doctorate too. He was based in the Church of Sant Antonio. They were, I think, Ethiopian rite. So I went to him, or to his church, his community, one Sunday morning, and again it was very different, very other. And I wrote these immediately after coming back, seeing how much we have, if we're not careful, lost by thinking that we have grown up all of a sudden and got it right in the last 50 years, wiser than all those who went before us. For what the East had in West with the common until the sudden and rapid changes was that we too were quiet. We too were hidden in a cloud of otherness in church. This noise is a new phenomenon in our churches. And when man starts to clap himself to applaud other men in church, all the notion of being a beggar wanting mercy has gone out of the window. We are there shining and beaming for ourselves. And we are reigning in the house of God. Man, how great I am. O world apart, the art of being hid within a cloud so bright that light alone is seen by the inward eye. 'Tis that bid the three that climbed that ridge and heard the unknown not say or utter aught of what no man had hitherto been shown. This was the word that bade all words not be, for listening can be but in holding well a tremble heard. O Tabor, here I climb again that place that on thy feast I walked. Here again the incense sweet that drugged a magic space hath dazed the memory's cells with quiet pain of wanting much, of wanting such a God as none did long forego that hither trod. Indeed, that experience at Meteora when I was 18 was nothing other than a mini pilgrimage to the great Holy Mount. Agioros, the Holy Mount of Athos, where there is a whole colony of monks, a republic where only monks live. And here we have something of the otherness of that place. It's all upward looking. Now that is something which we have also in the best of our Western monastic tradition. I was influenced by the parish I was growing up with, run by Ampleforth, and a big monastery is a bit of that on earth. The long moments in choir, the calm of the Gregorian chant, the history of the Benedictines going back, of course, to the pre-Reformation period. And something of that we did have in England, for the abbot of that monastery became head of the church in England, Basil Hume. And with regard to that, it's something that one needs to look at. Why did Basil Hume do so well as also a great bishop? Because he was calm and he was listening all the time to God. That's something which we have in common with the East in those bishops of ours that have come from a contemplative atmosphere. Why? In the East, in practice, all the bishops come from the monastic background. They have to because of the law of celibacy. The parish priest would not be given a church unless he is married first, but the bishops come from those who are never married, and therefore they come not from the noise of any kind of situation of administration and efficiency, but from those long hours of incense-filled prayer on an empty stomach, prayer and fasting, hesychia, that silence of soul which listens not to panels and commissions and board meetings, but to the Holy Ghost for hours on end. And so the intuition is different, and one sees the fruits thereof insofar as they would not be inclined to tamper with the divine as easily as we might be. The divine liturgy is what it is called, and they would not even think of adjusting it, because it is received and beyond them, and one doesn't need to adjust what is perfectly well established for 2 millennia. And so it is that they carry on without some of the problems that we have. We need something of that security in tradition. When we think that we know more than all those who have gone before us, we are like big children in their adolescent stage. They're all square except ourselves. It would be well to learn something of the humility of this poor beggar at the road, for true prayer has that attitude of please, please, please have mercy, and not how great I am. Be still, my soul, the Lord is on your side. Bear patiently the cross of grief and pain. Leave to your God to order and provide. In every change He faithful will remain. Be still, my son, your best, your heavenly friend, through thorny ways, leads to a joyful end. Be still, my son, your God will undertake to guard the future as He has the past. Your hope, your confidence, let nothing shake. All our mysterious shall be clear at last. Be still, my soul, the tempest still obey. His voice who ruled them once on Galilee. Be still, my soul, the eye is hastening on, when we shall be forever with the Lord. When disappointment, grief, and fear are gone, sorrow forgotten, love's pure joy restored. Be still, my soul, when change and tears are past, oh, safe and blessed we shall meet at last.